Hey, how are you? Um, I'm good, by the way. I just wanted to make a video about my last video, which was me making an oath or a promise to myself that I will stick with one camera brand for the next 6 months. I'll link that up above and leave it in the comments if you want to watch it if you haven't seen it. I did the video because I just keep switching brands and moving from things, looking for better things, when I think I've actually got the best thing in my hands already, and that's this Fuji X-T4. So I thought in this video I'd just cover why I decided to go with the Fuji X-T4 or the Fuji brand as a whole for the next 6 months. And yeah, just cover some points that I enjoy about Fuji. So the first thing, and really the probably ultimate thing that made me choose Fuji, is just the feeling of this camera and what the brand has to offer. I don't know, there's just some sort of like nostalgia, vintage kind of vibe, even though I've got the black one. These do come in silver. I don't know, there's just the dials, the way it's set up, there's a feeling, even the shutter button click, the sound it makes, I don't know, it just takes me back to some sort of feeling that I enjoy. And that, I think, is the ultimate factor. Like, if you don't like using the camera, it doesn't matter what brand or, what model number or what specs it has. It just, if you don't like using it, you won't use it. So I think that was the thing. But there are several others. I mean, one of the things about Fuji that I've heard before, and I feel like it's correct, is that they say when you're using other cameras, specifically some companies, it feels like you're using a computer. With the Fuji, you always feel like you're using a camera. It just has that camera feel, the original camera feel, the dials, the buttons, the way it is in your hand. Sometimes it's not perfect, but that's sort of like, that's the way cameras were, and it just feels like you're holding something that is, I don't know, a camera instead of a computer. You're operating a camera, you're telling the camera what to do. It's as close to film as I could feel with any camera of 2021, 2020. So some other things that I like about it are just the design, which I've already sort of touched upon. It does have all the dials there, so you've got them all at your fingertips. It's a great camera to learn on as well, because you can adjust the aperture straight on the ring. You can do your ISO and your shutter speed right there. So rather than having to go through menus or just using dials, it's quite a visual sort of aid as well, which I've really enjoyed. It was kind of weird to switch to this. It almost felt a little bit like weird and slightly sort of, I don't know, heavy duty going. You usually just doing with this, but now that I got used to the knobs, I just love the way that I can just quickly glance and I know exactly what settings I've got, and it just feels cool to shoot with it. Another big bonus for this camera is that it's weather sealed, so it's good value for an APS-C camera at the price that it's going at, to be fully weather sealed and dust proof and whatever the specs are. But yeah, you can, from what I understand, take it out, and if it gets a bit of splash on it or whatever, it should be safe. So that was good, because I want to go and do some shooting in the rain stuff. Obviously not in a blizzard, but there may be some moisture that gets on the camera, and from what I understand, the X-T4 should be able to cope with that. So that's another good thing. Just looking at my notes here. Another big factor for this one, that I should have mentioned this in the very first point, is the video capabilities. So this can do 10-bit 420 internally, which is really rare, and certainly was last year for these APS-C cameras, and this is why I initially went with it. You do definitely notice a difference between editing 8-bit and 10-bit. There's so much more movement, and the picture just doesn't break when you're mucking around with colors, etc. So that was a big point. Another one, obviously, for video was the flip out screen. which I use like almost all the time, so you can easily see yourself when you have it on, and you can flip it back so you can have it in. If you're doing Instagram style stuff, you can flip it this way, and then you've got it right there, so you sort of can adjust how you want to see your picture and get down to the ground. You can go right up above. It's pretty cool. Some people do complain about it. I used to have the X-T3 before I went over to this, and the X-T3 also has a pretty cool screen. So if you're more into photography, that one is pretty good. It has like a little pin here which lets the screen go this way, which is quite handy if you're shooting portrait mode. But of course it doesn't flip right out, so you can't see yourself in video, which was a really big minus for me. This camera also has Ibis, so stabilization built within it, which the X-T3 doesn't have, which I really liked. And I have had other models of cameras, other brands, that the Ibis is not as good, I don't think, as this. This is quite good. I've had two Canons before, which were also really good. I wasn't happy with some other brands, but I won't name them. But the Canon and this one have been quite good. I do like the in-body stabilization. A few more points. Continuous shooting, 15 frames a second on mechanical shutter, which I think is pretty fast for this level of camera. It's pretty cool when you're trying to go, you know, I like that. Just a bit of fun. And also obviously good for sport and that sort of stuff, which I don't really shoot, but it is sometimes fun if you're trying to shoot a picture of a car or something. It's you get that speed on the mechanical shutter, so that's cool. A big thing for Fuji also, I'll cover this one first. The battery is really good, much better than the X-T3, and one of the better batteries in this range of APS-C cameras, as far as I feel. I think you could take up to like 500 shots or something on one battery. I do a bit of video as well, but I never really have to swap it. Like it seems to last for a good while. You know, you're not worrying about your battery. Although I do have two on the go if I ever need a second one. And just one more thing to cover is that I thought of is the film simulation. So if you're shooting in JPEG, or if you want to shoot not in F-Log, etc., you can bake your image in straight in here. And the great thing about Fuji is that they used to and still do make film. So they don't have like picture profiles. They have film simulations. They literally are, you know, modeled on the film that Fuji makes. You know, Fuji film. So yeah, they're really nice, and you can also manipulate them within here further yourself. So there's it's quite a cool camera. I should run through some of my favorite features. Maybe I'll do that in another video, but I'll just really briefly show you when you're in picture mode. If you go into the menu, you can affect a lot of different things here, from chroma to grain, to, you know, dynamic range, sharpness. You've got your tone curve even, which you can put in, which is just like really cool, etc., etc. So these are the film simulations that you can manipulate to make whatever you want out of them. You know, you can push your colors however you like. They're really fun, so that, you know, you don't really even have to post-process. You can go straight out of here onto social media if you want. And that's it, really. So for me, it's like the best feeling camera for the best value, for the right size. As you know, I've mentioned before on the channel that I wouldn't mind going full frame, but I had to think about it. I've been down the full frame road, and, you know, things get heavy. Like lenses get heavier. If you want wide open, you know, you're talking, if you want zoom, they're even longer. It's just, yeah, there is a weight issue. And although I do like the full frame sensor, this was just a nice all-in-one. It kind of ticks all the boxes I need, and that's why I went with Fujifilm. And so far I've been really happy. So be making more videos, deep diving into various things. I might do a few little tutorials and then go out and shoot some little films or whatever. If you haven't seen them, I think the last few videos before the last one were a few little short micro films, so I'll leave some links below. And yeah, that's it from me. So yeah, That's why Fujifilm X-T4 in 2021 just it just fits all the little bits and pieces that I'm looking for. Yeah, so I'll leave it there, and give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see more from me, because it helps the YouTube algorithm, whatever, push my video forward so more people will watch it. Bye.